Delve into the world of football and specifically Bath City, and I caught up with Bath City manager Jerry Gill yesterday evening just to see how things are going there. It's been a busy time for the club, not on the pitch of course, following the National League South and indeed North campaigns being declared null and void earlier on this year, but lots of preparations going into the what we hope will be the start of the new season in August. August the 14th is the key date for Bath City, and Jerry, well, he's been hard at work putting together a pre-season programme for his players, putting together a pre-season programme of pre-season friendlies as well, of course, and as much as anything else, making sure he's got a squad in place for the start of the new campaign. As well as that, he's been doing plenty of work off the field at Twerton Park. The club have been having a lot of help from volunteers and supporters going in there to help get ground repairs up and running there at Twerton Park, and of course the club's bounce back appeal to help them financially as we look ahead to the start of the 2021-22 campaign in August. That's been going great guns, and we'll have more on that later on in the show. But first of all, I caught up with Jerry yesterday afternoon, and we spoke about what he's been doing in the last few weeks on recruitment.
Yeah, been busy, been really busy actually, and it's gladly busy. You know, after what we've all come out of, I don't want to be sat around doing nothing. So, and the joy is you can actually go and meet people and have a coffee in regard of recruitment. I'm right in the crux of recruitment now. The initial stages are identifying players that have been released from football clubs or free agents, if you like, and then setting our targets. It's a bit of a numbers game, Owen, because if you just have two targets and you lose the two, you've got to have something to go to after that. So, some of them have been targets that I've been following for the last couple of years that I knew would probably end up at this stage and a possibility for Bath City. And some offers have gone out, and some have come up new. And some actually, one I met today for a coffee, has just come completely out of the blue. And it was a really good meeting. So it's just selling the club. I'm a bit of a salesman at this stage where we go, we sit down, I talk about what I'm about, I talk about what the football club's about, and what we've done also now is we've made a little presentation. Dave Phillips, who does some wonderful stuff for us at the football club, all the video footage, he's done like a little montage of what Bath City Football Club means. So it's some goals, it's some pictures of fans eating bits in the stands, and interaction with flags and hats on and scarves and the bladud on the pitch, and lots of stuff that you identify with Bath City Football Club. And that's really nice for me to sit down, press a button and say, just watch that. And people have been blown away by it, actually.
People will be interested in the recruitment side of it. So obviously it's not an exact process, but effectively, do you kind of have a long list and you're kind of working your way through that? Is that how it works? Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'd have probably had this list. As I said, there was some on the list that were here from last year, you know, or the year before even, that I might have missed out on. So, pretty much I've got a spreadsheet in positions, and then we just go through them, we tick them off, we have discussions as a staff. I generally do all the recruitment. I've asked Jim to sort of pick up on retain and release lists, so Jim will be sending through that from clubs to me. The problem at the moment is the National League is still running, as you know, so 3 weeks of that, or 2.5, 3 weeks left of that. So we're waiting for the dropout of the National League to see what's available there. And then identifying if they've got an agent. Generally, I'll try and touch base with them as an individual first. Don't want to speak to the agent particularly first, but sometimes you do. And then a meeting is purely, you know, it's going actually physically meeting them, sitting down. And the first thing is really is trying to identify what they're like as a character, because they have to be the right character. I've said it to you lots. We're trying to go for a little bit more experience in the squad this year if we can, and a bit more strength. And it's important that we get the right ones. It's so important. We've done the re-engagement list as well. So players who we're keeping on, that will be out in the next week or so, because we haven't sent anything out in regard to that, out of respect to players who we've let go and people we're keeping in negotiation with. But that's all boxed off, and that'll probably be released next week. And then trying to wait, like you say, because players will wait, agents will wait and see what best offers they get.
and then see what we get at the end of it.
I was going to ask something about the that process. So, in terms of your squad, you've got, obviously this will become apparent over time, but you've got the ones you're going to hang on to. So, yeah. And you've got a number there, presumably. So, how big is your squad likely to be, and compared to what it is now, I guess?
Well, how big's my budget? It's the first question, because that takes how big my squad's going to be. No, listen, I'm going to push. I'm pushing the board as hard as I can this year. I think I've earned the right to challenge a little bit within it. We've sold a number of players through the course of my time as well. I've never asked for a penny back. We've done unbelievable in the crowdfunder again of recent. I mean, there's 50,000 that we've raised. And the guys have gone on record saying anything above what we needed, the 25, was going to come back into my budget. So I think there's a little moment there where I can go and push a little bit. So I'm probably looking at 18-man squad this year rather than 16. I generally go 16 and then a couple of loans from the FL clubs. I probably want to go 18, have a core of 18 players, and then try and get one or two loans if I can. And of course, within that, there may be some surplus that might go out on loan from ourselves and get some game time. But to start with, I certainly want a strong squad. Pre-season, if you called it that last time out in October, it didn't feel like pre-season. I think I turned up for the first session. We had 8 bodies or something stupid, Owen. And as a player, that's not great. As a player, you look round and you think, crikey, what we must have when we turn up for that first day of pre-season, which is June the 15th, a lot earlier, we must have a good nucleus and a good core of players there with some good experience. And people look round and go, crikey, I've got to play well to get in this team. Pre-season was done weeks ago. The programme's out. The players have got it all. I've got 9 games in, ranging from a Championship EFL first team coming to Twerton through to League 2 teams and National League North teams and some local ones, which is really important, especially for your, I know you speak to a lot of local clubs yourself as well. And there is a lot of those clubs that I can't name at the moment that we'll be visiting and sharing our time with them, because I think it's important that we support them financially. They'll get all the proceeds of the gates, but we'll get a lot of fans go to these clubs locally. And I want to do that as a little message from me as a Bath City manager, the biggest non-league club in the local area, to say that we're going to come to you out of respect and try and give you some money on that day as well, and try and get you some gate receipt in as well.
Has the recruitment programme changed? And by changed, I probably mean time frame, given what's happened over the last year. How does that affect sort of leading into August when you get started for real?
Yeah, there's no excuses this time round, Owen. And not that I used excuses last time, but we went in the playoffs, had to wait 3 months to go in there. We then went in, lost. We were 3 months behind everyone else in recruitment, rushed through, didn't have the surplus of players to pick from like everyone else did. And we didn't get to where I wanted to get with the squad. I'll make no bones about that. But I think circumstance sort of led us to that. Whereas this time, I've had loads of time, loads of opportunity to identify the right players. I'll have plenty of time to speak to them. Pre-season, as I said, been planned long ago. The 3-day camp at the university is now in place, which is so important to us. We did last year. I've been out and seen a venue where we're going to all go out as a staff and have a meal on the Saturday night. That's important to us. It may sound small and trivial, but it's not. In a local Bath pub, which would be fantastic. And we'll put some coverage out for them. All the directors will turn up for that, so players get to meet the directors. That real team ethic, that real Bath City thing. So yeah, it's changed dramatically from last time out, and it's given me a real opportunity to get the team right. Come August the 14th kickoff, but come for those games by that camp. Definitely by the camp, I want our squad in place by the camp for sure.
I know we talked last time about the couple of guys you got out on loan. Tom was obviously at Dagenham and Donovan at Sutton. Are you getting a bit worried you're going to get an offer you can't refuse for Donovan, because he seems to have been doing very well there?
My lips are sealed. We listen. The Tom Smith thing, it hasn't quite worked out in the way we would and Tom would like to have worked out. We wanted him to go there and get game time. We also knew there was an opportunity for both players to progress their careers, and as you know, I'd never stand in the way of any player wanting to progress their careers. Not that both lads set out to do that. Now, Tom's gone there, got injured. He never gets injured, but got injured, and he's found it difficult to break his way into the team. He stayed there, to his credit. There was a moment where he was going to come back because he didn't feel as though being there and not playing was serving a purpose, apart from he was getting some training time in as well. He's getting some minutes here and there. So we'll have a look at Tom's situation when it comes to an end. Donovan, as we all know, is probably on the lips of every non-league, League Two, possibly manager, recruitment guy, scout in the country at this present moment in time. He's now scored 13 goals in 18 games for Bath City and for Sutton, which is a fantastic return. I did go on record and say Donovan Wilson would have been the best striker that Bath City's ever had in their history. And I made no bones about that. And I will dig it out one day because I think the kid's going to go on and have a fantastic career. He needed to come to Bath City, and he's really grateful he did at the time, because there were certain things in his personal life, which I don't need to share, which affected him. And it would affect any young man. But we put an arm around him, we gave him a bit of love, and we got him going. And rightly so, someone come in for him, and he's had a really, really good time at Sutton United. That's not finished. I'm praying he gets a promotion on his CV. I really do. I think they're great people down there. Matt Gray and myself are in constant conversation. Obviously, there's been a lot of attention. I can't go into details, Owen, but there has been. And at the end of the day, if it comes to the point where we sell Donovan Wilson, then we'll make a profit because he came on a free. And that will be a good bit of business for Bath City Football Club. So we're not in that position where we're going to announce anything, where we're going to agree anything, but there's been a lot of interest for him, rightly so, and he deserves it, but he's still got 3 games to play at Sutton. If they go up, it could change things. If they stay down, it could change things. So we're watching it closely, constant dialogue with them. I've been and watched him. I speak to him every week, and he's in a really good place. So fair play to him.
Putting aside whatever happens with that, it's obviously a great justification for what you guys have done at Bath City, isn't it? That he's achieving it. Massive,
Owen. We sell Robbie Cundy to Bristol City for a lot of money, and we got him on a free transfer. We sold Anthony Straker to Havant for good money. We sold Nick McCooty to Chippenham for good money. We sold Miles Welsh-Hayes to Macclesfield for good money. That's the nature of the beast. We're a business as well, and we're good at improving players and developing them. That's what we do. And what it does, as you rightly say, it gives us an opportunity then for the next one to go, do you know what? If I go to Bath, I've got an opportunity to kick on in my career. My dad said to me the other day, if you kept all your best players together, you'd have one hell of a team and you'd have a great chance of getting promoted. But we all know football doesn't work like that. I wish I did. I still think in that first year against Wiltstone, we should have been promoted. I think that team was a fantastic team. I think against Dorking, we weren't quite ready to do it, and we weren't, because of the circumstance, it wasn't a strong team. There's 5 loans in that starting 11. But the year before, we had a great opportunity and we didn't quite do enough. So I know what we need. Everyone knows what they need to try and get in the playoffs, and that'll be our target again. Can we get in the playoffs? But we don't want to go through the eliminator again if we can help it. We want to try and get ourselves out of that first one and get a bye in the first lot. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if you don't set targets, you don't set goals, and you don't get a chance to achieve what you've set out. So yeah, listen, we'll have to build a squad. I'm going to have to get I'm looking at it, probably 6-7 players in. That's a lot to recruit. But we will definitely be stronger than we were last time out, for sure.
That's all to come in the next hour. We'll also have the second part of our chat with Bath City manager Jerry Gill. You'll have heard him in the first hour of the show talking about his player recruitment and how that's going. But he's had plenty to say on the support given by the club's fans as the club look to build up towards next season, which starts in August. And that's where we're going to go now, because I also caught up with Bath City's commercial manager, Bob Chester, during the course of this week to find out how his work's been going. Now, you may have seen on the Bath City website, Jerry Gill, manager, sending a message of thanks to supporters who have really stepped up to the club's crowdfunder, what's known as the Bounce Back Appeal, trying to raise funds for ground repairs and the pre-season programme. As well. Plenty of volunteers also doing work at the ground, along with Jerry himself, as he'll explain when we have a second part of our chat with him later. But a bit more on the Bounce Back Appeal. That crowdfunder has now raised more than £50,000, smashed through that barrier early last week. That includes season ticket holders donating the cost of their 2020-21 season ticket to the club, as well as some 240 individuals donating on the crowdfunder page. So that 50,000 is more than double the original target of 25,000, and that sort of money really going to be vital for Bath City. Means you can deal with any pitch maintenance issues and maintenance issues at Twerton Park, as well as the league fines. You might remember Bath City among those clubs fined for not fulfilling fixtures before the National League South season was declared null and void. But also any further money could also go into Jerry Gill's kitty for player recruitment for the next season. So plenty to look forward to there, and hopefully build up for Bath City this season. But the supporters are really stepping up. More than £50,000 raised this for in the Bounce Back Appeal crowdfunder, and so much so that the club have decided to extend it until the end of the day tomorrow. In fact, Sunday the 16th of May, if anybody else would like to donate. So more than £50,000 raised. We'll have a final total for what will be raised after the deadline concludes tomorrow. Plenty more going on as well. And as we chatted to commercial manager Bob Chester, another initiative going on at the club is the draw for their shirt sponsorship for the 2021-22 season. The club have already had 41 entries in the draw from various companies in and around Bath. So shirt sponsorship and 5 other prizes in there as well. Manager Jerry Gill will be drawing the lucky winners on the 30th of June. The club hoping to have all their entrants along for that occasion. That's still going on. If you want to get your company involved in that, you can take a look at the Bath City website, or give commercial manager Bob Chester a call to enter that shirt sponsorship draw. But as mentioned, we caught up with Bob this week, and he talked us through his work as the club look to build up towards next season.
I've been doing this job on a voluntary basis for 9 years now, starting the summer of 2012 after City had been relegated, and this is the 10th season now that I'm setting things up commercially. And year on year we've progressed, and I've got a relationship with more and more businesses as time went on. Of course, then we had COVID last year, and that's been a great knockback for everybody, football, businesses, people, etc. Many people had a very difficult time, but at the football club commercially during last season, which in many ways was a bit of a non-event with the way things went, we were down commercially by over a third. But as we've started to open up again, and during the time of that's been going in the last few weeks, businesses have been really, really supportive. I've not been able to go and visit people, but I had that relationship with various businesses where we could email, talk to each other on the phone, and they've been most supportive, as have many of the fans. And when you look at the football club, the board of directors have been really, really good in everything that they've done. Curtailing the season was a wise decision, and then it was ratified by the National League. But I think there's something really, as I say, really special being created at the football club, something quite unique. The sense of community, being part of the Bath City family, and just belonging to something that, there's transparency, openness and honesty. And I think all these things come together with all the voluntary support and everything goes together. Where last summer we got crowdfunding of aim of 35,000, but got a 53,000, which is absolutely amazing. And again, have the crowdfunding appeal because of the various issues regarding the stadium, and it's now target 25,000. It's double that. It's just got to 50,000. Right. And there are just so many genuinely good people associated with the club, fans, local businesses, and many of the business people have become fans at the same time because they're aware of what is really quite unique at the football club. There's something special about non-league football. I go back for years and years. I'd always watch non-league football rather than go and see an old First Division game or a Premier. I don't think I've ever seen a Premier League game because at the end of the day, my heart is in non-league football, and there is something very unique about what's going on at Twerton Park. And you add to all that the work that's been done by the foundation and how that's been revamped and everything. There's a lot of good work going there in the community. It's more than the football club. It's everything around the football club. I mean, people just think, it's a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday night, but it's massive. It's really much more to that. So there's all those people working so hard for everything. But then you've got to look at what's the product we sell. At the end of the day, that's football. And we are so fortunate to have a manager like Jerry Gill. He brings a massive professionalism to the club. He's very, very dedicated in what he does, and he's very easy to talk to, interview that you've done, and I do it on people like Mark Stewart and does it on the radio. And it's the style of play that he's brought to the football club and that professionalism that has helped with everything else that's gone. It's been a massive part because, as I say, that's the product we're selling. The fact that we've got now attendances that are over 1,000 on average. Well, that's before COVID, but I hope that comes back. And it's the product that Jerry puts on the pitch that makes a massive, massive influence to the success of the football club in general. And with Jim Roller as well, who's been with Bath City for years, a Bath City legend, things are really looking good. Despite the fact of COVID, we all have to be really positive about how things are going to progress forward, and all the hard work that's gone in doing the repairs at the stadium and everything. I know Jerry now is working hard to all his pre-season preparation, something he couldn't do last summer, or last autumn as we got into the league eventually. And Jerry's really, really focused on getting things right. And of course, commercially then, it's my job is to raise as much money as I can for the football club. But there's more to it than that. There's also looking after people, making a difference to people, having those relationships with people, and going the extra mile so that people get value for money but feel part of the family. All those things are so important, and that's why over the years, most people stay with us year on year because they like what they see. They like the atmosphere, they like the people, and that care and attention to detail. Is
like now really an opportunity non-league football's got to look to take? Because although we're not all starting again in a sense, I suppose in a sense we are, aren't we? After a big pandemic, you haven't been able to have crowds in the ground, etc. So is there that opportunity for that reset in a sense?
I think everything has to be looked at the way we work. I mean, in everybody's looking at the way they work and everything, and we've got to. In football, we've now got to work out how we do things really, really safely to give the confidence to the fans to come back to Twerton Park, to know that everything is okay. There's all that pent-up demand that people want to get back out and do things, but there's also that anxiety of, is it going to be safe? And it's making sure that we provide the right atmosphere, the right conditions so that people can come back, enjoy the football, enjoy each other's company to get back together again, but also do it in the safest possible environment. I think that's a key thing right across anything in entertainment. It's the same in pubs, it's the same in cinema, theatre. It's trying to deal with those issues and make sure that they're challenges that we never thought we'd have. I mean, you think about having a packed hospitality lounge, that's great. Now I'm thinking about having a packed hospitality lounge. Well, how am I going to spread everybody out? How am I going to make sure that people feel comfortable and safe, so they're welcome to come back and get it as right as possible for people? So it's that little attention to detail to making sure that it's right for anybody who's working at Bath City Football Club, or the volunteers and staff on a match day, plus anybody else who's coming through the turnstiles and hospitality and the bar, etc., etc. And there's things there that we've got to look at and make sure that we get right.
And I guess it's it's truer or it's going to be truer than ever before, certainly in non-league football terms. Perhaps unlike we've seen at the top of the game, thinking about events of recent weeks, but the supporters and your community really are your lifeblood, aren't they?
Oh, they are. I mean, as people have said many times, football without fans is, and everything that goes with it, is so important. It is the lifeblood, and getting them. The businesses that support us are so important that we've got the finances to do things. I mean, for instance, at the moment, I'm doing the shirt sponsorship draw. So if anybody's interested, look on the website, and for £395 plus that, you get a season ticket, and all the details say on the website. But you have your chance to have the name on the Bath City shirts all season, home and away. And there's loads and loads of things. We've got back of the shirt, shorts, and other prizes to go with it. But that's a big revenue earner. It's a big chance for people to network and get involved with the football club.
I guess is the pressure on for you, sort of on the commercial side, to be really quite innovative, to try and think of different ways for to get the club sort of more finances in that sense.
Yeah, you've got to try and, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But then again, if you do the same, you get the same. And you need to brighten things up regularly and just change things a little bit. So, yeah, I'm always looking for new ways to try and do things. And over the course of the 9 years, you live and learn as you go on, and try and get improvements all the time. And as we've got bigger and bigger, probably one of the biggest problems is the more people you've got, the more people you've got to look after. And I try to treat everybody's a special way, looking after, making sure that everybody is important to the football club because they are. And of course, as I say, the more people you've got, the more people to go round, and it becomes more and more work, if you like. But it's lovely work because I've met so many, I say, really, really, really good and supportive people.
And as you sort of look ahead now, and hopefully we are sort of coming out of this pandemic thing, and you look over the next 6-12 months. I know I've spoken to Nick quite recently, talking about the general overview of the club and the ground and things like that. But how do you sort of have the overview of the commercial side of things over the next few months?
Well, I think it's keeping as many people engaged as possible, the past sponsors, and some people, obviously, their situation is not been easy, and they may not be able to do what they did in the past, but it's just keeping them as part of the family, because we hope that they will be in a situation where their business they will improve, their sector will improve, and they can come back and again support the club in possibly a better financial way than they may be at the moment. But just because somebody can't be involved right now doesn't mean I forget them. They're all part and part of the Bath City family, and I always set myself targets. I set myself challenging targets to try and raise as much money as I can for the football club, but at the same time keeping all those good relationships and doing it right, because that does pay dividends. And although it's all voluntary, I treat it as very, very professionally, as if it was a full-time job, because there's only one way to do things in my eyes. I try to do it to the best of your ability and to do it properly. And I'm surrounded by the football club some really, really good people as well, and all that helps. It's teamwork at the end of the day. It's all about we, not I, and everything. So, and that's the sort of philosophy we try and work and get the best out of everybody and support each other.
And you mentioned you do work quite closely with Jerry, because obviously we see Bath City on in terms of what happens on the pitch, but you do work closely with him. Yeah,
well, Jerry and I remember. Years and years ago, I did travel on the team bus when he was a player, and so we're going back 30 years. So I've known Jerry for 30 years, and I've always kept an interest in his career when he left Bath. And when he came back to the football club, it was reuniting with somebody I knew from many moons ago. And I try to do as much as I can to support Jerry in every way possible. And probably the biggest way I can support Jerry is by helping raise as much money for the football club, so the more money we can raise, the more goes in the budget. And something I've done over the years is called the pledge, which people can contribute to the playing budget, and it's ring fenced. And all those little things help. The lottery, which is going well, everything that you're working on to try and do that. But Jerry's also, he's very, very good at talking to sponsors, talking to fans. And that is a massive asset for me. If I've got a team manager like Jerry, who is so good with other people around, and is so willing to engage with them and be available, that makes my job easier, because he's just a perfectly good person with good stories. He's played in the Premier League, massive experience, and very easy to talk to, as I'm sure you found on the radio.
Yeah. And finally, let's give it a bit of the sales pitch. There will be people, maybe companies, whatever, out there who are thinking, I quite want to get involved with it. So if they want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Well, if they look on the website and just click on the section on the right-hand side, the front page of the shirt sponsorship drawer, all the contact details are there. I'd love to hear from people. I've spoken to 3 new businesses in the last 10 days, which is really good. But it's looking at after everybody. One thing the shirt sponsorship drawer is, it help attract new businesses into the club, because people think, well, for that amount, and I could be on the front of the person's team shirts home and away. That's something worth having a look at. And I always like to meet people and talk to them as well. Everything like the lottery. There's all the people in the lottery. I've spoken to them all as we changed over with the lottery. I had to do all that. Just one other thing. We've got Charlie's and Randall's, where CrossFit have been for the last few years, and they're leaving us at the end of the month because they've actually had such success at Twerton Park and expanded, and now the facilities aren't big enough for them. So they're leaving us, and there is a void there, basically, and we need to fill that, to find another business and other various organisations who might like to have the space during the week and at other times when we haven't got football there. But there's a massive opportunity for a business to come in. We'd love to meet people. And then again, there's stuff on the website there about contacting our general manager, Carol Banwell. She's looking after all that. And again, that's something else I might as well just spend a moment promoting as well.
Yeah. That's Bath City Commercial Manager Bob Chester speaking to me earlier in the week about the significant commercial opportunities and fundraising going on at Bath City at the moment as they prepare for the new season starting in August, of course. You mentioned the shirt sponsorship draw there. Reminder, you can get involved with that. Just going on to Bath City's website, bathcityfc.com. That's bathcityfc.com, and you can find out more about the shirt sponsorship there, how to get involved. Manager Jerry Gill will be drawing the winner of that towards the end of June, but that and other prizes available there as the club continues to raise money. And Bob also mentioning what we did before, that the crowdfunder, the bounce back appeal, smashing through the £50,000 barrier for Bath City season ticket holders and hundreds of individuals getting involved there and pledging money towards the club, more than double the club's target there. So congratulations to them and well done and all that. You'll hear from manager Jerry Gill later on in the show. We continue talking football at the moment, though. We've heard from Bath City manager Jerry Gill earlier in the show. We've got the second part of our chat with him now. And as you also heard from earlier in the show when we chatted to commercial manager Bob Chester, a terrific effort by Bath City supporters and season ticket holders, raising more than £50,000 for the club's bounce back appeal to help them with ground repairs, the pre-season programme and other structural work at Twerton Park. Fantastic effort by the club supporters. Jerry, well, he actually recorded a video message for the supporters earlier in the week, and watch that on the Bath City website if you go there. But when I spoke to him yesterday as well, he told us about the fans' efforts.
It absolutely blows me away, mate. Honestly, and it feels like yesterday I was telling you this about the previous when we were going into the playoffs, the amount of money we raised. We've got some criticism from other clubs within our division for raising money because we stopped playing because we couldn't afford it, but I find that just a green-eyed monster jealousy, because there's not many in our league that have such a superb crowd behind them and fan base behind them to be able to raise such money. You know, I thought it was stuck around 42, something like that, and suddenly it goes up to 50,000. It's no, I can't thank our fans enough for that. Local businesses, local supporters, hardcore fans of Bath City Football Club, directors, you know, it's endless the amount of people that have been digging into their pockets in difficult times to help us out. You know, I've been at the ground myself helping out with some of the works that needs doing. I blew up an angle grinder actually in doing some work over on the stills over the back. Me and Bob Chester are down there next week, and we come up with an idea to paint the back wall on the Popular side black and white, so it looks different for fans and for players. New signage going up on the gantry, so it'll look better. It looked really nice actually to it, and when people go back, it's important as well. But the amount of money we've raised, that tells you what we're all about. And you're right, with all this stuff going on with Super League and even in our division, break-off leagues and what have you, all this nonsense. This is what football's about, and it's about your club. Focus on your club. That's all I say to people, really. Focus on your club, and if your club's good at what you do, promote it as much as you can, and be proud of your club. I'm so proud. You know, as I said, some of the younger supporters don't realise it. There was a lovely story that Mark put in the Chronicle on me about my career that I don't really share enough, actually. But I'm proud of my career, and I played over 200 odd games for Bath City Football Club, and not a lot of people would probably know that. And it's been a big part of my life. And now to have it for another 3 years to date, I'm so proud to manage the football club. I'm proud of our supporters and proud of everything we do. I was there today, and some real energy down the club about sponsorships, and Bob about the shirt sponsor draw. You know, we went to a local pub, as I said today, and they're keen to get involved. And there's some good energy out there, Owen. Good energy. Just can't wait to get back. I just can't wait.
And I guess the plus point with that is that it shows you when you do go back, and we're there, and fingers crossed and all that, crowds are in the ground, the support for Bath City is there. It's by the looks of things.
Well, it is. I keep going back to it. 56% increase since we come in, and I think it's going to be better. I think people want to get out and watch football. I think people want to get out and enjoy their lives. Had enough stuck inside, and it's up to us to put on a product that they enjoy watching as well. And we've done that in recent years. And it's important they get behind us when they're in there. Be as vocal. I always challenge them. Be as vocal as they possibly can. Use all that frustration you've had for over a year. Use it out on the ground and make it a fortress. Make it horrible for teams to come there and go, bloody hell, we're in a ground here. And that's what we want. We've got some exciting things pre-season coming up. Really exciting things. A showcase game back at Twerton Park. Return to Twerton game, which will be against a first-team championship club at Twerton Park. in front of a really good crowd. We'll enjoy that. That'd be great. It'd be a great occasion. And I want to make it an occasion. We're going to do some beforehand on-pitch entertainment, halftime entertainment, maybe get some old players back there as well, and make it a real event that everyone's proud of Bath City Football Club to be there on that day.
And because, I mean, the important thing to say with Bath City, it is one of those clubs where not only can supporters support, but they can get involved in actually the way the club works and all that sort of thing.
Yep. They've got a voice on the board. Listen to these clubs now. They're saying they're getting supporters trust involved, and they're getting put on a board for the. I think it's just lip service really at the top level. They're really going to have an influence, but people genuinely within our supporters and our supporters society have a voice. It's represented on the boardroom, and I had a board meeting the other day, and there's representation, and they have something to say on it, and we listen, and it's important. We do. It's so important, and as you said, for me, I've got an open door policy anyway. I invite any fan on any given day. I enjoy it. I love it by the wall. If someone comes over and has a little chat with me, I love it. If someone's there early and sees me and wants to have a chat about a team or a player or anything, I love sharing. I love sharing what we do, and I think the fans appreciate that as well. I think,
is it fair to say, not just Bath City, but I guess beyond that, there's a real opportunity for non-league football now, isn't there? With I think we've all been, stuck inside for X amount of months. Obviously, we've had football on TV. I think we all accept that's not the same. And in many ways, perhaps we've had too much of it. There has been too much. And I think people are going to be keen to get back to a game. And that's a real opportunity for clubs like yours.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got to make sure when they turn up, all I keep beating the drum is let's give them something when they turn up. Let's have a match day experience. Don't let them just pay their money and come in the gate. Let's give them something else, whether it's a pop-up pancake stall, whether it's on-pitch entertainment, whether it's some involvement with ex-players going around, if they're not in the squad, talking to supporters in the sponsors lounge and things like that. It's up to us to be creative, to give these supporters now an opportunity to come in the ground and feel like it's a real match day experience. Get there a bit earlier. Don't just turn up at 2:45. Traditionally at Bath City, they stay in the bar and they won't come out until sort of 10 to 3. Let's give them something to come out and have a little look at as well. That stuff I'm talking about. So spend the money in the bar, of course, that's important to us. But yeah, I do. I genuinely feel like there's an opportunity to make a real atmosphere at these non-league grounds now. Let's go and watch what I call real football. I can't watch. I'll be watching it tonight, of course, but I can't watch football on TV anymore. It's just drove me absolutely mental. Honestly, it's just not the same. It's just not the same, Owen. And I'm fed up with it. And I just can't wait. We've been doing individual programs with players still training and unit work, but I want that squad. I want that time back. We've all have our I've done all the training kit packages. That's all been ordered. The new kits have been ordered. That'll be launched soon. New home and away strip. The same one from last year, home. Different away one will be coming out, which people will really like. That first day when you turn up and you hand out the kit bags to the players, they've all got their training kit and they look in. It's like Christmas. But that's important because it shows the professional side. It shows we're organised. As I said, pre-season training. We got a meeting as a staff next week, and we'll go through what each day looks like when they turn up in detail, how much physical work they were, what the football side of it's going to look like, what the load's going to look like. And it'll be a tough one for them. And by the time we get through to August 14th, hopefully everyone's in condition to have a real good go at it.
That must be highlighted in your diary now, isn't it? The first day of pre-season training for everybody together. That's a big next one for you, isn't it?
It is. It's on my phone. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. August 14th. But my work. This is over to me now. This is my busy time, as we said from the outset. It's up to me now to go and build this squad. It's my job to do that, and I believe I can. I believe I can get a real competitive squad for next season. It'll look different. Hopefully, as I said, more experience, but people who really want to play for Bath City Football Club, and hopefully the fans will enjoy watching them.
That was Bath City manager Jerry Gill. Second part of our chat, my chat with him yesterday afternoon. Where really nice to hear a manager who's really invested in all aspects of his club, isn't it? And Jerry keeping across everything that's going on at Twerton Park, both on and off the field. Obviously, his priority job is putting together a squad for next season, and one that will be able to hopefully challenge some honours in National League South, but also finding time there to pay tribute to the efforts of the supporters. As mentioned, more than £50,000 raised in the bounce back appeal to help the club with with various bits and bobs as they build up to the start of the new National League South season that's due to get underway in the early to middle stages of August later this year. So lots of work still for Jerry Gill to do. And a reminder, go to Bath City's website and you can get details there of some of the commercial work they're doing and how you might be able to get involved helping the club. I think we'll all be keen to get back to some proper live action and some live football and indeed live other sport as well. As soon as possible after the last year that we'd had here, but we'll catch up again with Jerry over the course of the next few weeks, and indeed others at Bath City, I'm sure. But